So, what are we gonna do with OnePlus? So, as of right now, everybody everybody I'm sure is familiar with the news that came out. What I think it was probably about 2 months now. That news, there was that article by Android Headlines stating that OnePlus is dismantling, and all right, it'll be one of those days for us tech nerds. I'll remember that day for the rest of my life. I was sitting at the dinner table finishing up my meal, and what do I see coming across my screen? OnePlus is dismantling. I say, what? I click on it and I'm reading and reading and reading. I'm like, there's no way. I mean, does anybody else have this news? And then this is when it probably was out maybe by 30 minutes, something like that. I didn't see any official articles or anything, just that Android Headlines article. I was like, what the hell is going on? My world is crashing down on me. But um, I went online, got on social media. There were a few people talking about it, but boy, oh boy, the very next day, there was a bunch of video. I made a couple of videos about it, and it was shocking, right? Especially for OnePlus lovers like myself. It looks like the OnePlus is dying news is unfortunately not going away. Now, when I put out that video a month or two ago, was it a hit piece article? Meaning, like, were they trying to build some sort of story, some sort of narrative on OnePlus? It looked like it. However, I did a bunch of research for that story specifically, meaning look at all the details, go behind the scenes. I spent a good hour and a half pulling details, pulling articles, pulling stats, as much as I could off the internet. And I think the conclusion that I came to was, are they dying? Technically, no. But it did not look good at that time, a month or two ago, as far as, look, what's facts are facts. And the facts is they closed down their United States office. It was just down the road in Dallas, or down the highway up in Dallas. And they've laid off all U.S. employees. The sales are way down, right? And they also, I believe they did that in the UK too, where they closed the office, laid off employees. Um, it sucks, right? I love the brand, and we got worse news today. So let me pull this article up and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Here's another article that states the Oppo news that they're going to release this new Ultra series here worldwide, but the second half of the article discusses the OnePlus dying rumors and or shutting down. And this time we got word from officials from OnePlus, from somebody inside the company, and they said, yeah, we're getting to that point. So after the announcement of the X9 Ultra, getting down to the second half of the article, we can see here that OnePlus appears to be exiting a global market, a global launch, a global release strategy. So there's a leaker, and I've known of him, I just haven't seen his name in a while, Yogesh Bar, who is the article says here, is a pretty a solid track record. And I've heard of and we're seeing his, I think I'm following him, know his social media here for a few years, and whatever he puts out generally becomes true, meaning he's got a pretty good record of whatever he says. Of course, it's not 100%, but typically if he puts it out, that'll happen, right? So he posted on social media earlier today that OnePlus is indeed shutting down in select global markets. Now, when you see that in quotations, shutting down in select global markets, look, what does that mean, right? How many markets are going to remain? How many devices are they going to release in the next year, or if any? Well, we got word that the markets they are not going to sell phones in anymore, meaning, like, if you're in the United States, how it has been for Oppo, for example. You can get one if you really, really want one, but you're going to have to get it on eBay. You cannot buy it from the company on their website in a store, nothing like that. It's sort of like they're going to turn into like what Oppo has been. So it's official. OnePlus is not going to sell phones anymore in the United States, in the UK, or in Europe. So OnePlus would apparently continue selling phones only in China and in India, but the OnePlus phones they sell in India are only going to be budget and mid-range phones, which means if you want the latest and greatest OnePlus whatever 16, it's only going to be available in China. And what sucks even more, it's probably going to have color OS. And what sucks even more is that the 5G and 4G bands probably not going to work too well here in the US. Meaning, look, we could live with if they were just going to sell them the OnePlus 16, for example, in China, right? Let's just say that they're shutting down US sales, UK sales, Europe sales, and they're everywhere else minus India and China. But India is only selling the budget and mid-range phones. Well, I don't want a budget and or a mid-range OnePlus. I want the real deal. Give me the good stuff, right? Well, it wouldn't be so bad because you can go to, what is it called, Gizmo China or some of these online retailers, eBay, and just get you a OnePlus 16, which again wouldn't be so bad because you get it in. Maybe there would be a Oxygen OS we could flash on there, and deal with it, right? But that's not going to be the case, because even if you go to one of these online retailers and purchase the OnePlus 16, there is no Oxygen OS. There is not going to be any Oxygen OS. It's just going to be Color OS, and that's because Oxygen OS was kept alive because they sold OnePlus in America. And among other places, but in America we have Oxygen OS. Well, why would they make an Oxygen OS for the OnePlus 16 if they didn't sell it in any other markets? See what I'm saying? So there will be no Oxygen OS to flash, right? And as cool as Color OS is, I kind of like it. There's one simple fact that there is Mandarin on the phone, meaning there's Chinese on the phone, Chinese writing on the phone that you can't get rid of. You can uninstall some of it, but there's some system apps that you cannot uninstall. So, there's always compatibility issues with Android Auto, Google Wallet, stuff like that. Well, there's some workarounds. Well, the workarounds were due to the fact that they would pull forks and stuff out of the kernel from the Oxygen OS version and put that into the Color OS version, when flashing and stuff like that. But now there will be none. So you're going to be stuck with Color OS. Some people can deal with it, some people can't, right? But even if you can deal with it, it's probably not going to work here on your carrier. So that's the death blow where it's like, well, now it's not even worth buying at all if you're in the United States, because who wants to buy $1,000 phone? Well, I guess it would be about $800, but you get the point. Who wants to spend a lot of money on a phone when you're not even going to use it with your SIM card, right? Who's going to use a flagship phone on Wi-Fi only? That doesn't even make sense. So, yeah. So this is kind of, this sucks. So it looks like that's the end. Because even if they were going to sell it wouldn't be so bad if they would continue to sell the OnePlus 16, not only in China, but India as well. Because as y'all know, I've purchased a couple of phones from India. They work great here, right? It's the global ROM. The 5G works fantastic here too. No issues, right? In fact, the Motorola Signature I got was from there, was the India model. So it wouldn't be so bad, but they're not. Again, they're only selling in India the budget and mid-range OnePlus devices. And the flagship, which means the flagship is only going to be sold in China. So this is kind of the death of OnePlus, unfortunately. Um, I was still hoping I would be able to buy, because here's my plan. Even with that news that we got, I was like, damn, that sucks. But, and I think I sold the first one I got a little too fast. Probably scared myself and was like, let me sell it. But then I came back. I was like, damn, it's a really good experience. Love the phone. Let me buy another one. But it looks like that's going to be the last one I'm going to own. So, it sucks. It honestly sucks. But I hope. And see, look, the thing with BBK, as we were talking earlier, so they own Oppo and OnePlus. I don't think, because I was thinking too, damn, I wonder if they could like revitalize, have a rejuvenation of, whatever, sales, interest. But once a parent company like BBK takes all the resources, employees, funding, R&D out of OnePlus and allocates it to Oppo, they're just going to continue at Oppo, and they're not really going to be funneling any more R&D, any more employees, any more management, any more marketing to OnePlus. It's all going to go into fund Oppo, right? So it does look like this is the death blow that I was worried about. At that time of that original article a month or two ago, I figured it would be a kind of like a slow thing that we would eventually get to, but I didn't expect to see them announce. Well, they haven't officially announced it, but somebody within the industry is letting this news out. I didn't think we would see it this soon. I thought it would take 6 months, maybe a year from now, to where we would hear right around the OnePlus 16, we would hear them say something, but this is pretty quick. So it looks like BBK, owner of parent company OnePlus, has made their mind up that they're just going to run a skeleton crew with OnePlus, only sell devices where they have strong sales, meaning India. They're actually really big in India, and their home market in China, and that's it. Because at this point, they're losing money operating in any other country, right? They have the smart people. They hire people that all they do is look at this stuff. They see the spreadsheets. They know what markets they can survive in, what markets they got to dump, cut their losses. And unfortunately, they're going to cut the global market minus China and India. So that they're still going to release, from what I understand, the OnePlus 16. But as I mentioned earlier, it's only going to be in China. They have a new leaked model coming out. This is where the interesting thing will come too. Is the OnePlus 15T. It's their flagship device, the small version of their flagship device. Will that be released globally? Will that be released only in China? We don't know. In fact, let me do a little research right now or pull up some news and see if we can find anything. So the OnePlus 15T set for March 24th. But in what markets, right? That's what we're wondering. It looks like it's going to be India. Oh, that's tomorrow. What the hell? Let's see. OnePlus 15 price in India. Chinese smartphone brand OnePlus set to launch its upcoming smartphone OnePlus 15T in China on March 24th. As the launch nears, speculation around OnePlus 15T's India launch date is expected. Price gaining traction online. It looks like they're already going to move forward with the understanding of only device launches in China and India. I'm kind of surprised they're launching this in India because this is not a budget device. This is not a mid-range device. This is a flagship device. Now, maybe in the company they said, well, after this upcoming launch, the OnePlus 15T, we will only launch flagships in China and then budget and mid-range in India. It's probably what they're going to do. So this might be, ladies and gentlemen, the very last flagship device OnePlus puts out that you will essentially be able to use worldwide. Because after this OnePlus 15T, it's China only, and that's it. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not going to use a budget and or a mid-range phone. I know I make the exception for nothing because they just have a really cool mid-range phone. But other than that, I'm not using mid-range. I'm not using a mid-range phone. But this appears to be the very last. So maybe a classic. I wanted to get my hands on the 13T. Was not able to, but it looks pretty cool. Sucks that they're going under. Yeah, you know what? You're going to miss the OnePlus red charging cable. I'm a part of the red cable club too, you know. So I am too. That's what I'm charging my phone with right now. See, I got a Samsung S26 Ultra and I'm charging it with the OnePlus charger. That's called fast charging right there. Yeah, I will too. Sad to see this about OnePlus. The US market sucks for competition. Yeah. I'm just glad there is at least an alternative in Oppo. Sad day for OnePlus. Yeah, a little good news, bad news, right? Good news is, and see, that's very strategic. And that would fit into play with what within Oppo's playbook, right? They know they're going to take away OnePlus from the US market, but they know there's fans out there like you and I that love these phones, and they know, Oppo knows that they'll take OnePlus away, but they're going to introduce Oppo. They know they're going to get a large percentage of those OnePlus fans, probably 90% of those OnePlus fans are going to circle around and purchase an Oppo device now. They know that, and that's why they're doing it. They're taking away OnePlus, and in comes Oppo. It's essentially, it's the same, wow, it's better than this. I was going to say it's essentially the same phone. No, it's better. Cameras are way better. So actually they're bringing a better product to the table. It's just not going to have your OnePlus logo, right? It's going to have the Oppo logo, but it looks the same, right? If you put an Oppo Find X9 Pro next to a OnePlus 15, it's the same phone. I mean, looks the same, right? So I think it just sucks for the nostalgia that us OnePlus fans have. But at least, you're right, at least they're bringing us an option. It's not just like they're taking it away and that's it. I mean, I guess they kind of are, but at least they have another product that they're saying, hey, well, here's the Oppo Find X9 Pro and X9 Ultra. And honestly, they are better. So I guess it could be worse. I guess they could be taking OnePlus away and not giving us anything at all. That would really suck. So I am getting excited for the Oppo. I guess that'll have to do. All right. I think I started purchasing OnePlus. I think my very first OnePlus phone was what was it? The 5T? Because didn't they skip 4? They went from 3 to 5, and then 5T, and then they had 6T, and then I've had all those, the 7T or 7 Pro with little pop-up cameras. So I've had them all. I've had them all. In fact, I've purchased, well, the same model multiple times. I would sell it because I'm getting another phone, and then a couple of months later down the road, I'm like, damn, I really missed that OnePlus 7 Pro. Let me see if there's any good deals on them. Boom, and I'll get it again. I've done that on multiple OnePlus phones, and I can't say that about many other phones that I've owned in the past. I can think of 3 OnePlus phones specifically I've purchased more than one time. The current OnePlus 15, I've purchased that twice. The OnePlus 13, I had 3 of them. The OnePlus 7 Pro, and then I think the OnePlus 8, I've had 2 of them. I got one 8T. I've had a bunch. And that's how you know they're fun to use. It's a good phone. If I'm coming back, if I sell it because I need to buy another phone, because look, I don't get a lot of phones sent to me, so I'm buying all these. You know, it's a good phone when I'm like, damn, I really missed that phone. Really good experience. Let me get it again. It's a good sign, right? We have in Europe the global color OS version with eSIM in all Google services. Yeah, I like color OS, and I would like color OS. And the version of color OS I tried was the Mandarin version, like the version they have in China. And I actually, kind of liked it. So I know if I get the full English version of Color OS, I know I'm really going to like it. So I'm excited. Uh, I'm excited. So we're going to definitely cover this and more. I plan on getting one, so stay tuned to the channel. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I was going to do a giveaway today, but I just looked at the time. I got to get out of here. So join me tomorrow. I'll do a giveaway tomorrow. I'll do either a case giveaway or a Cash App giveaway or an Amazon gift card giveaway. We'll do a giveaway tomorrow of some sort. Hell, I might even do 2 giveaways tomorrow. But you have to subscribe and you have to join us on the live stream. I'll try and schedule it as soon as in advance as I can tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be around 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I got to get out of here. I got to get, but I do appreciate the time, and I hope everybody had a good afternoon. Please be safe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.